Hey guys, Garibo Bros here, and today we've got a Blue Eyes Invoked deck profile. So obviously, as you can tell, we've got the new Kyber mat in the background, so we'll just quickly show that off. You got Kyber being all cool, and yeah, Blue Eyes. So anyway, we'll get into the deck profile, show you what we play, and just all that crap. So we'll start off with the main deck. The main deck is actually 41 cards. So we play 3 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon. Obviously, no need to explain that. You play 3 Blue Eyes, so you can play 3 the better card, Blue Eyes Alternative, you can pop a monster in your turn. Play 3 Sage in the Eyes of Blue. Yeah, you can use Sage's effect when it's a normal summon to add a level 1 star light tuner from your deck to your hand. Or you can send this card from your graveyard, target a monster you control, send that to the graveyard and summon a Blue Eyes monster from your deck. Play 3 copies of the White Stone of Ancients. You can search it with Sage. When this card is sent to the graveyard in the end phase, you can summon a Blue Eyes monster from your deck. Also, you can use this card, if this card's in your graveyard, you can banish it to add a Blue Eyes monster back from your graveyard to your hand. However, you can only use one of the effects per turn, so you can't use both effects in the same turn. Play 1 copy of White Stone of Legend. Again, you can search this with Sage. Also, you can trade it off, same with these 3. You can trade them off with Cards of Constance to draw 2 cards, and if this card is sent to the graveyard, you get to add 1 Blue Eyes from your deck to your hand. So if you use this in Cards of Constance, you get +1, because you'll draw 2 and get the Blue Eyes to your hand. Next we play 2 copies of Alister the Invoker. Originally we were going to play 3, but the card's so searchable, and it can be recycled so often you don't need 3, so we just play 2. So his effect is you can discard this card from your hand, target a fusion monster you control, gains 1000 attack until the end of the turn. However, you don't really use that effect, you just use it as the target to bring out Mechaba. So 2 Alister. Next we play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. You don't necessarily need to run Ash Blossom, I just now have 3, so I'm playing 3. If you're on a bit of a budget, you can always play Ogre, play more copies of Effect Veiler. We do actually play the 1 copy of Effect Veiler. The reason we only play 1 is because it's searchable, so if it's searchable, you may as well play it. Play 1 copy of Master. Master, he's good, he's versatile. Again, you can add him off Sage. He's your recycle play. And when he's in the graveyard, he can help you bring up Blue Eyes monsters from your deck. Onto the spell cards. Play 3 copies of Melody of Awakening Dragon. This card's really good, it's searchable. If you get Ashed, it's a bit depressing, but if you discard a stone off it, you still get the stone's effect. But yeah, Melody, it's a really key card for the deck, so play 3. Play 3 Trading. One thing that I'm a bit annoyed about in this deck is I haven't got all my cards in secret from the card collection yet, but we have 3 hollows here. I still think the Ultra is the best rarity for trading. So yeah, 3 Trading. 1 copy of Cards of Constance. As I said, you discard a Dragon type tuner with 1000 or less attack from your hand, which you have 4 targets in this deck to draw 2 cards. Next we play 3 copies of Return of the Dragon Lords. So obviously bring a level 7 or 8 Dragon type monster back from your graveyard, and then if that card would be if a dragon would be destroyed, or dragons, you can banish this card from your graveyard to protect it. Next we play 3 copies of Magical Meltdown. When this card's activated, you get to add an Alister from your deck to your hand. Also, your opponent cannot negate cards that special summon fusion monsters from your deck. If anyone's wondering what's with all the different coloured sleeves, I've got like 4 different deck cores on me, and I just couldn't be bothered swapping and changing all the decks around. So 3 Magical Meltdown. Play 2 Invocation. So Invocation has the ordinary polymerization effect where you can fusion summon. However, when you're fusion summoning an invoked monster, you can banish cards from your graveyard and your opponent's graveyard. So you can use Alister, you can use your opponent's light monsters, or you can just use yours. Also, if this card's in your graveyard, you can shuffle it back into your deck and then add a banished Alister from your banish power back to your hand. Next we play 2 copies of Neg 9, just to help with the draw power. As I said, this is a 41 card deck, so you could always maybe cut Pot of Desires if you really wanted to, if you're that against playing it. 2 copies of Dragon Shrine. Yeah, you send a Dragon type monster from your deck to the graveyard, it's like Foolish Burial, and if you did send a vanilla Dragon type monster from your deck to your graveyard, you get to send another Dragon type monster. Also, if you did send Dragon Spirit of White, it does become a normal monster in the graveyard, so you can send that as an effect monster from the deck, it becomes a normal monster in the graveyard, and then you can send another Dragon type monster. 1 copy of Soul Charge, because Soul Charge is just really good in Blue Eyes. Helps you get out your rank 8s and just bring up big beast attack mode monsters. And then the 1 copy of Monster Reborn, because it's Monster Reborn, so we play it. So as I said, that's a 41 card main deck. Feel free to cut and change and make any recommendations. Onto the extra deck. Play 2 copies of Invoked Mechaba. So obviously you'll summon this by banishing or using an Alister and a light monster. Mechaba is really good because once per turn, during our player's turn, you can negate a card effect by discarding the same type of card from your hand. So, yeah, Invoker, he's just really good. It's 2500 attack as well, so he's fairly decent. Play the 1 Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon because it helps to get out over big problems. If you've got if your opponent's got a monster and you can't get rid of the attack points, this can't be destroyed by battle, and at the end of the damage step, it will banish the monster that's attacked. Also, if you have Alister in your hand, I mean, you're not going to use the effect that often, but Alister can boost it by another 1000, so it becomes a 4k attack point monster. Play the 2 copies of Spirit Dragon. So once per turn, Spirit Dragon can negate a graveyard effect, so it's a quick effect, so you can do that during either player's turn. And then during either player's turn, you can tag this card out to summon a light synchro monster from your deck. So you're going to do that. You're probably going to bring out one of the 2 copies of Azure Eyes. Another copy you can bring out is Michael. You can also bring out Moonlight Rose Dragon, and what else is there? Stardust Spark Dragon.
Well, be careful to use it because it gets destroyed during the end phase.
Indeed. But yeah, I just like to play my Azure Eyes because I like to use Azure Eyes effect to bring back monsters from the graveyard.
Plus, it doesn't get destroyed.
Well, yeah, it doesn't get destroyed. Next we play onto the Xyz, play 1 copy of Thunder End Dragon, 2 vanilla, rank 8 at level 8, destroys all monsters on the field. 1 copy of Heroic Sun Dragon, helps with back row removal and just anything on the field in general. 1 Cypher Dragon, helps take control of your opponent's monsters and then names them Cypher Dragon. So if you take one of your opponent's monsters, name it Cypher Dragon, you can then overlay it yourself so they can't get it back. 1 copy of Prime Photon Dragon, it's got 4k attack. When it attacks, it goes up to at least 5600 because he gains 200 for every rank on the field. 1 copy of Full Armor Photon Dragon, so you can rank any of your Galaxy Eyes rank 8s up into this, detach a card, pop a card on the field, and then you can always rank it up into Galaxy Eyes Dark Matter Dragon. He's there, he's got 4k attack, he can attack twice. In this build, you don't use the effect to bring up the Amorph Age Goliath combo to stop your opponent from special summoning, but you do make them banish 3 of their monsters, and he's got 4k attack, as I say. Onto the links, we play 2, we play Underclock Taker, and we play Decode Talker. Be honest, most of the time in this deck, you don't really bring out a link monster. I mean, this can happen, it's just quite rare, but when it happens, it's good to have the extra space. But most of the time in this deck, you're literally just going to sit off on the 1 boss monster in your extra monster zone, and just big dragons in your main monster zone. So you might just sit off on a Mechaba with some Blue Eyes in your field, and just have big boss monsters. But as I say, the links aren't too key to the deck, but we just play them because we can. So anyway guys, that's the deck profile. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe.